Hey everyone, it's Mike Burge from the Nuga team here at Keller Williams. And today in the Monday Market Report for August 1st, 2022, we're going to talk about the market shift and what are the biggest questions people have about the market shift. Why is everyone saying crash, crash? So let's bring out some of the numbers, find out more information about what's going on in the market today. Hey everyone, it's Mike Burge from the Nuga team, and I am excited to bring to you the Monday Market Report for August 1st today about what's going on with the market and the market shift and what everybody's talking about. I mean, I just hear market crash everywhere. And I want to make sure that we're bringing across all of the great information that's provided to us realtors about what's going on in the market and make sure that you have all of the information when you're thinking about buying or selling a home, or you just want to know what's going on in the market, what's happening with your biggest investment that you make, your home. So I know we're beginning of August. School is coming back in Hamilton County here in a week or so, and everybody's excited to get back to school. And we still have a bunch of inventory on the market ready to be sold. So if there's anything we can do to help you out along through the process, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Nuga team 844 Home. That's 844-666-4246. Love to help you out. Also with the YouTube channel, make sure that you give me a like on the video and subscribe to our channel so that you can get all of the great information. If you click the bell, then you'll be notified every week when our Monday Market Report comes out. So what could be better than that? All right, so let's get into this. There's a couple things that are going on. The existing home sales report just came out, and a couple notes I had made about the existing home sales report. This is the national home sales report. The average days on market was 14 for June. So we're seeing the number of days on market go up. So it's something we'll keep an eye on. And I want you to be aware of all those things that are going on. The average sales price is $416,000 across the U.S. Here, our average sales price is a little bit lower. It's a little more economical to be here rather than in some of the expensive states like New York, New Jersey, California, Illinois, those expensive states. It's a lot less expensive to live here in Tennessee, Northern Georgia. So just wanted to bring those couple numbers out to you. I'll keep an eye on those numbers and make sure that you're getting all that information on our Monday Market Report as we go through. So what I want to do now is share my screen with you. Let me flick over to it and start to talk about what's going on in the real estate market, bring you some of these numbers that are brought to us from National Association of Realtors, Adam Data Solutions, a bunch of different places where we can collect all the information about what's going on and give you an objective look of what's happening with the market. So let's click right into this. Number one, the total housing inventory for the end of June was 1,260,000 units. So our unsold inventory, this is by the National Association of Realtors, so our unsold inventory is what they consider active on the market and also pending. National Association of Realtors considers, even if they're pending or under contract, that they are unsold yet. Sits at about a 3-month supply. So you'll notice that we're still sitting very low as far as in the past. Looking back to 1999, all the way through, you've got the housing crash area from 07 to 11, where the inventory was very high, but our inventory still sits relatively low. So when we talk about market crash, we talk about how many homes coming to the market so that we have lots of houses on the market and not enough buyers. So there's 3 different ways that homes can come to the market. Number one, existing homes. So a bunch of people decide, or a bunch of sellers decide, hey, we're going to put our house on the market right now. And that would raise the inventory up high enough where we would see a large amount of homes on the market and drive the prices down. It's all supply and demand. If there's a big demand, which we know there is a demand for buying houses, we would outweigh that with an excess amount of supply. And with these three different ways, the existing homes, I just don't see a ton of people putting their homes on the market right now and over flooding the market. So that's one way. The second way to get homes on the market is new construction. So we're building houses and having excess amount of building coming in to flood the market with homes for sale. And then the third way is through foreclosures. So back in the housing crash, we saw a lot of foreclosures come to market, and therefore that caused us to drive the prices down and get an excess amount of inventory. So I want to go through each of those different areas. Existing homes, we've already talked a little bit about that. I just don't see that coming to the market, that a ton of people are going to flood the market with existing homes. So let's just keep going through and look at the other two methods. Now, first, let's go to residential construction. You'll see that here we've got building permits. May and June, they've gone down. Housing starts to look, I don't know if you can see my cursor here, my little arrow, but May and June, you can see how much of a drop we've had in the starting of homes. People are a little tentative about starting homes to be built. Builders are, because of supplies and supply chain issues and just mortgage rates and all of that. Builders have done less starts of homes. Under construction stays pretty similar. And then housing units completed, those have been started in the past and now they're ending up being completed. They're still on an average amount. So we don't see a big flood coming in. Actually, we might, because the starts are lower, we're going to see less homes coming to the market through new construction. So I'm just not seeing the new construction, hundreds of thousands of houses coming into the market. It's just not happening right now. Excess. So yes, there are some homes coming to the market, which is great. We need that new construction, but we don't see that excess coming in where it's going to flood the market with new homes. So just by looking at the numbers, we're just not seeing that. So now let's talk a little bit about the foreclosure issues. So this is the lending standards, and the higher the number of the mortgage credit availability index, the easier it is to get a loan. Okay, so you can see that in 06, the number was 868.7. And we joke about when that happened, it was harder not to get a loan than it was to get a loan. I mean, everybody was getting a loan. So the ease of getting a loan made it inflate the demand. So because it was so easy to get an extra house or to buy a home, it inflated the demand of how many homes were being sold. So therefore, when we went through we went through the Dodd-Frank, and I know I'm getting into a lot of realtor terms, but the Dodd-Frank Act that was passed to make it more difficult. You can see the dip in June of 2008 of how hard it became to get a loan. And you'll see another dip in June of 2020, beginning of the pandemic era. It got harder again. They actually took jumbo loans off the market. So basically it said, we don't really want to lend on $300,000, $400,000 houses, so we certainly don't want to lend on $1 million houses. So that the jumbo loans actually went away for a little while, and now, obviously they've come back. But the lending has gotten even more difficult during that time. So down in June, we've seen how hard it is to get a loan. So because the lending has been so difficult to get, we've seen the foreclosures year over year go down because the people are more qualified to get their loan. So, and I completely understand that because the foreclosures, the past doesn't necessarily equal the future. But when we lay this graph over top of the last one that says how difficult it was to get a loan, you'll see that that was the trend. So because it was so easy in 08, 07 to get loans, in 9 and 10, we were seeing more foreclosures. And then as it dropped and made it more difficult to get a loan, so did the amount of foreclosures drop. And I get 2020, 2021, we had that forbearance period. So obviously there weren't a lot of foreclosures because many states and many areas were saying, we're not doing foreclosures. We're not going to start any new foreclosure processes. We can't kick you out if you don't pay your rent, all that stuff with the forbearance period. I get that. So in 2021, it's low. But if you see in 2019, 493,000 is still a very, very low number. So let's go on and let's talk about the forbearance because, okay, I've heard forbearance is ending. So people now have to catch their mortgage up. So I've heard that because of that, there's going to be a ton of foreclosures coming on the market. So let's start and take a look. Oh, here are the number of foreclosures. We'll get to that in a second. This is the first half foreclosures. And I want you to see something that's really interesting. The first half of 2022 is equal to about the first half of 2020, just as the pandemic was getting fired up. So we're seeing it come back to closer to normal levels. Normal levels being 290s, 300,000 area. So over the first half of the year, we still have a really low number of foreclosures being filed, even though the forbearance period has ended. Okay, so let's talk about what happened with the loans that were on forbearance. So of all of the forbearance loans that were out there that qualified for forbearance, or they took up the lenders, they went ahead and did the forbearance with the lender. Here's what happened with all of those different loans. So you'll notice in the green, all of those were paid in full. So they either made their monthly payments during the forbearance period and they stayed up to date with their loan, or they paid off their loan. 6.7% actually paid off their loan during that period, and 11.2% were past due payments were brought current. Okay, so those all were great results. In the green, that was great things that happened during the forbearance period. Now let's look in the blue. 45.2%, they worked it out. So 29.4% did a loan deferral, which means they took the payments and put them on the end of their on their loan. So they'll pay it off when they sell their house, or they'll add payments on to the end if they get to the end of their mortgage. And 15.8% did a modification, which means they refinanced in some way their loan. So those are all good things too. So that only leaves us with 18.4% that are still in trouble. Okay. Now, 17.2% have no loss mitigation plan. So they haven't planned anything yet, but there's still a possibility that they will, and they'll refinance, or they'll bring it up to date or something like that. So I wouldn't expect all of those to go into a short sale foreclosure type of situation, but only 1.2% have gone into foreclosure, short sale, deed in lieu of foreclosure. Only 1.2%. But even if all 18.4% went in, that's only about 400,000 homes in the nation. So when we add 400,000 homes, it just doesn't have that significant amount of impact to flood the market with homes, so that we have too many homes on the market and the price values go down and the housing system crashes. So it's just not there. So it's just interesting to see what happened with that forbearance. This is actually a government program that worked. The forbearance actually worked. So it all it helped out a lot of people. So we'll look at what Rick Sharga has to say. He's the executive VP of market intelligence for Adam. They're the ones that collect all this information up for us. foreclosure activity across the United States has continued its slow, steady climb back to pre-pandemic levels in the first half of 2022. We saw that from the graph earlier. While overall foreclosure activity is still running significantly below historic averages. So even though the forbearance period has ended, we're still seeing the activity lower than average on foreclosures. And I understand foreclosures it's a bad thing for people. They're losing their houses, those sort of things, but we're still below that level. So less people are doing it. Let's finish it out. The dramatic increase in foreclosure starts suggests that we may be back to normal levels by sometime in 2023. So we are going to see more foreclosures coming to the market, but is that a number significant enough to make a housing crash? From all of the numbers that we see coming in, the answer really is no. So all of the scare tactics that you're seeing coming out about, is the housing market going to crash? Is it going down in flames? The numbers just don't show that. So we still see the demand high. If you go back and watch a couple of the videos that we've done, the demand is high because of the number of millennials coming into the market looking to buy that large housing group. They're first-time home buyers coming into the market. And there's just not enough of inventory coming in. So again, let's go back. The 3 different ways that homes can come to the market. Existing home sales. We're just not seeing a flood of people putting their homes on the market. It's the same amount that have been, and that has stayed pretty steady. New construction, new homes being built and coming to the market. We're seeing the number of home starts go down. So that doesn't really look like it's going to flood the market with inventory. And then we have to look at foreclosures and distressed sales. And we just went through all that. And it just doesn't look like there's a whole flood of foreclosures coming to the market. So I just don't see how we're going to get to a housing market crash. I just don't see it from the numbers, and I don't expect it in our near future. So I hope that brings a lot of good information to you about what's going on with the housing market. If we can help you with your buy or a sale of a house, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can reach us at 844-NUGA-HOME. That's 844-666-4246. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get all of these market updates as they happen every Monday. And give us a like for the video if you found the content informational. Even if you don't agree with it, I would love to see your comments below. And I'm just happy to bring all the information I can to you as we go through the changes in the market. So thanks for listening. This is Mike Burge with the Nuga team at Keller Williams. And remember, with the Nuga team, your home is sold guaranteed, or we will buy it. Give us a call, 844-NUGA-HOME, and start packing.